My name is Tamika Jameson, formerly Newhouse, and I'm the founder of AAMBC. The acronym stands for African Americans on the Move Book Club. Established in 2008 for the sole purpose of amplifying Black stories and those that tell those stories. In 2025, we are prepared to even amplify our events. We also want to host more events year-round, and so we need your help. From book signings to a literary freedom walk, to festivals, to curating book drives. We are wanting to do it all, so please visit the website aambc.org and learn all about us and donate to us today. Thanks.
Okay, I'm reloading.
You'll never get away with this. My mama watches crime shows.
Mama, I told you. Carlos and I moved here so that I could leave my corporate job and follow my dreams.
More like a nightmare. And you don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of.
Mama! If these walls could talk.
For some newlyweds, y'all do a lot of bickering.
I love Carlos.
But do you trust him?
Let me see it.
See what?
Your phone.
No, thank you. I do have a right to some privacy here.
No, you don't. You concede that by not showing me your phone, you're engaging in a major cover-up?
You've been watching way too many episodes of Law & Order.
Maybe I ought to watch more episodes of Snap.
Don't you want to know if he's out in these streets making you look crazy? Or if he's on the down low?
That's not what your mama said last night.
All right. I can't seem to find my cell phone anywhere.
He is having an affair.
Yes. Really just got real.
If you don't make it out with your wife, you could become a tax expert. Don't nobody trust them either.
I am trustworthy. I just don't need my wife all up in my phone. I am entitled to some levels of privacy.
This is Trump's America.
A woman is like an ox.
No. A what?
You gotta tie the ox to the plow. Teach the ox how to break up the dirt in your life. You got an ox right here.
I think that's enough for today.
Oh, dude, Jesus.
Did you do it?
Pull yourself together.
She's crazy.
Yeah. Tú estás totalmente loca. Full crazy, okay?
You're gonna see crazy black ladies show up. Wait till she get here.
You real Puerto Rican
Wait
right now.
till she get here.
That's Puerto Rican.
But hey, crazy's good.
You got to dial *32 first.
For what?
Because you block your number. You do not want them to star 69 you back.
Is star 69 still a thing?
You need to catch up.
Hey everybody, it's me, your fave, Jazzonfire. And if you are seeing my face on your screen, then you know what that means. It is 4th Sunday, and thank you for joining me for another episode of In Creative Color, where as always, we are here to talk with the creators, the bakers, the movers, and the shakers. And without further ado, I'm going to bring in our lovely guest for today, Areshia McFarlin. Areshia, how are you?
Hi, Jasmine. Good morning. I am well. It is well with my soul. I'm so excited to be here with you today.
Thank you. We know that it's been a busy week, a busy time, a busy season. So thank you. Before we hop right on in, because the bio is stacked, we want to go ahead and pray in. Okay. I know it's Sunday, so we may have been in church today, but we're going to take y'all again. All right. So Heavenly Father, thank you for the ability to create. Thank you for the ability to fellowship, to join together, to talk with one another, to share ideas, and have a meeting of the minds. We know that it is only possible because of you. You are the ultimate creator. You are the blueprint. And we thank you that it is your creative grace that flows through our veins. So we pray that this conversation will be soul food for someone who is hungry, whether that is hungry to create or hungry for the creator. And whether it reaches 1 million or just one, we will always give you glory. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All righty, y'all. So Areshia, because as always, the bios are stacked. Areshia McFarlin is a multi-hyphenate executive, filmmaker, and comedian whose career bridges the C-suite in the creative world. She is also a storyteller. So in 2013, during a season of fasting and prayer, she received a creative vision for a television series, that of which the trailer you just saw. And the result is Save My Marriage, a professionally produced, multicultural, multi-generational family sitcom pilot that she wrote, directed, produced, and stars in. The private industry screening of the pilot play it played to a sold-out audience in Atlanta in May 2026 and has generated active interest from networks, streamers, and top-tier content developers. She is the founder of Cherry Blossom Pictures, a production company dedicated to multicultural storytelling, and she is not a person who chooses between the boardroom and the stage. She is proof that a woman can be both fully without apology. Ladies and gentlemen, Areshia McFarlin.
Oh, that was so nice, Jasmine. Thank you. I'm going to record you doing that.
Literally, we just gonna clip it and send this to you.
Thank you.
So I always love to ask my guests, and also too, as we see already, the comments are coming in. If you are watching live, you want to give us some comments, questions, we absolutely love it. Feel free to drop those as you're watching. But I always love to start off by asking my guests, who are you when you are not creating? What things bring you joy outside of being a creator?
Sleep. When I have the time, oh my goodness, it is one of my favorite pastimes. They oftentimes say that, if you want to lose weight, if you want to clear your mind, if you want to be productive, then you have to sleep. And so I definitely think that that's probably top of my list because it's the thing that I don't get to do as often as I'd like to. Who am I outside of that? So I have 3 sisters, mom, a myriad of nephews. I mean, I think the number is up to, it's like 7 plus 4 because I've got cousins that are like nephews to me as well. And I technically have 2 nieces. I have my little niece she's 7 now. Like, it's all the kids. I love them. I love my family. I spent a great deal of time with my family. I had the opportunity to move back to Atlanta a couple of years ago. And so I think spending time with my family and sleeping and binge watching something really good is how I like to spend it. When I'm not working, those are the things I want to do.
Rest is revolutionary, and I believe is fully and completely a part of the creative process.
I need a tattoo that says that rest is revolutionary.
You gonna do that as you're not getting rest? That's how it goes. Something got to be the reminder. I love it. I absolutely love it. So I love that you also mentioned that you had the opportunity to move back to Atlanta because you've been a little bit of everywhere and what most would call like the creative hotspots, the media hotspots. So you've been in Atlanta, Los Angeles, and New York. How did each city shape you differently as an artist and a person? And if you had to choose one, do you feel like there's one you gravitate or gravitated to more than the others?
Yeah, it's so interesting. I grew up in Atlanta. I'm Atlanta Public Schools K-12. And when I left, I went to Hampton. I went to my beloved HBCU in Virginia. And after I graduated, so my senior year, I only applied for jobs on the West Coast because I had always known I wanted to act. I attended the School of the Arts in Atlanta, and I wanted to be a performer. I've always known that. My mother told me at the time, though, she didn't pay for fiction degrees. So I had to go out and get a real... She did. She said I had to get a real and marketable degree. So I ended up going to, I applied only to jobs on the West Coast, only in Los Angeles. And I actually didn't have a job on the day I graduated college. I was scared to death. And I remember I prayed before my parents got to town. And I was like, Lord, whatever money I get for graduation, I'll just take it and I'll drive to LA and I'll live in my car until I find something.
Starving artists, yeah.
I was willing, but that was not what God had for me. So I actually got a job, like literally the day after graduation. I was made a job offer and I moved to Los Angeles. And it was great, I'll tell you. So it was the late 90s, early 2000s at the time I lived in Atlanta. I was in LA. I was in LA for Y2K, believe it or not, if you can remember that far back. Were you around in Y2K?
Not really, but we're gonna adapt it now.
There you go.
Appropriate it now.
So I predate the internet. My nephew likes to say, "You were born in the 1900s." Like if you don't show.
Wow.
Yeah, it was late 1900s. But yeah, I moved to LA and I was there at a really good time. So the time that I was in LA was when shows, the CW and WB and all those come out. There was like a ton of Black shows that were filming. And I ended up I started out as, you do background work and all that stuff, trying to earn your SAG card. And I remember I earned my SAG card on a show called The Parkers with Monique, the comedian. And she was amazing. And I remember every day she would come to set. I could work on her set 24 hours and never look at my watch. I never wanted to know what time it was because I loved being there so much, but she was so good. Like she would speak to everybody on the set. And if you were background, crew, cast, everybody, she stopped, she said hello every day. And she was just so good to work for. And the show was really funny. And I always said, if I ever had my own show, I was like, I'm going to run it like Monique did. Like, I want to be like Monique. And so I lived in LA. I earned my SAG card. I started to work on shows. And then one summer, I came actually here to Atlanta to work at it was a 14th Street Playhouse. I was doing a show. And there was some great, powerful actresses there. And the director was a guy who ultimately became a good friend, Gary Yates. And he said, if you want to be a principal performers come from the stage in New York. And you have to be studied. And I was like, what does that mean? You have to be studied. I have a degree. I participated in Hampton's plays. I knew what was going on. And he says, no, you need an MFA. You've got to go get an MFA. So he actually helped me to prep for grad school all summer. He helped me to audition because you have to audition for grad school. And I applied to 5 schools that I knew that I really wanted to go to. I did 2 on the West Coast, 2 on the East Coast. And is that how I did? No, it was 2 on the West Coast, 3 on the East Coast. And I ultimately got into Columbia's program. And so that's what moved me to New York. We were a 3-year conservatory at Columbia, and I studied classical theater because that's what I thought real actors did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like I was going to be a thespian, and I studied all the Greeks and the French plays and the Molière and whatever. And I remember very clearly when I was like 10 years old, I was in the mall with my dad, and I just decided to put on an act one day. I cut the fool in the mall with my dad, and he was so embarrassed. And he said, you're going to be a comedian when you grow up. So badly because I thought he was laughing at me. So I spent all those years like trying to be the serious theater actor, knowing deep in my soul I wanted to do musicals, and I had jokes I wanted to laugh about. And so fast forward, after grad school, I got married, and I was living in New York at the time, and I wasn't doing marriage very well. Like new marriage can be hard. When you first get into it, you don't know these people. You just you're melded in life, you know? And my ex-husband says, I sat up in the bed one day and I said, I think I'll go be a stand-up comedian now. And he said 6 weeks later, he was at Gotham Comedy Club watching me on stage, and I loved it. Like from the first time I ever stepped under that light, it was just like love at first. It was a high you just couldn't imagine. And so that launched my stand-up career, and so saved my marriage. I wrote while I was married, and it's based on my stand-up comedy, where I get to talk about me and my crazy Puerto Rican husband, and it's great.
I absolutely love that. We love a good origin story. I love the fact that like you traced us back to the moment where it was like, this is when you were coined to be a comedian and you didn't even receive it. I also thought it was hilarious how you casually dropped in like the Parkers as if we won't know that iconic masterpiece. Like
5 minutes ago, you didn't know Y2K. I don't know what you.
I know Y2K. I just won't be out here lying. Like I was truly alive and old enough to participate. Like I like 90s baby. I'm 98, so I try not to be out here loud and wrong.
I could have been your young mother.
Exactly. So it works out. I love that. Okay, so. Because you have such an interesting story, and even now you still do a little bit of everything. I would love to know how the different facets of who you are creatively play to or help out or even hinder, which I don't think is the case, one another. So as a comedian, as a filmmaker, as a writer, as a director, as also someone who's like in the corporate world, what does that look like for you?
It is so funny how Black folks sure are resilient, child. We can figure it all out.
I love that we're multifaceted.
Multifaceted. What's the new word? Multi-hyphenate. That's the I found it on LinkedIn. That's what they call it. I found that I was, I've never actually financially I didn't get a trust fund when I was born. And, while I always consider myself Black and bougie, I ain't never been rich yet. And I've always had to work, and I definitely have a certain lifestyle that I want to maintain. Like I was never going to be able to be a couch surfer. I totally respect people who can do it, but it just wasn't going to work for me because I like to eat every day and live indoors and, have vegetables from time to time. So I have always had to have a real job, and somehow you get promoted, and the more you get promoted in the real job, the more you need the real job, because so do your bills promote, So you can't quit your job if you're not going to quit your bills. Well, anyway, what I have found is, number one, comedy is a great equalizer, right? Really being able to, because as comedians, we see things that other people don't always see. We hear things that other people don't always hear. And I'm not talking about the voices in my head. I'm talking about the things in the room that go on. Like, we really read the room pretty well. And it allows you to break down a lot of barriers. And so for me, I have found that my work coming up in corporate America has allowed me to create a certain skill set that is highly transferable when it comes to producing. And so I've always been writing throughout the whole process, even if I couldn't perform, I could always write. I could sit at home and come up with stories in my head and I'd write them. So being a writer of film and television has always kind of been in me, able to do that.
Yeah.
So then to be able to build my comedy career only helped to build my corporate career. I mean, I'm not like the fool in the office, I hope, but it does allow you to be able to talk to folks in a way that disarms them, right? It allows you to build relationships and make more deals, which translates when you want to go make a film and make some money. You need people to invest in you or people to partner with you. It's better when they feel like they can connect with you. So I've been able to find a very healthy balance in being able to, and then leading, right? So leading people is probably one of the toughest jobs, especially leading adults is a lot harder than leading children.
Oh, because it's basically the same, but kind of worse. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, adult babysitting is fun. You're going to learn a lot. And leadership requires a certain ability to connect to the human in folks. And that's exactly what we do in storytelling, is right, really being able to tell stories that connect to human beings. Because what I found, and this is true for comedy, is the truth is a lot funnier than the stuff you make up.
For sure. It resonates. It hits you a little bit deeper, and it's like, ha ha ha.
Yeah, you go home, you're thinking about it. You're like,
wait a minute, that was funny, but also
he was talking about me. Yeah. I mean, I've read some things before that were meant to be funny, and I get in the car later, and I'm like, ooh, that could be me.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. I love that. That's beautiful. I think it's also too, funnily enough, in undergrad, when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, I started off in psych and then made the transition to what should have been probably communications, but we ended up in journalism. But one of the things that they told me was that, do you know how many people in the media industry actually just have a psychology degree? It's like, you got to know how to deal with and talk to people. And so with that, being able to just do that, adult babysit, as you say, I like that. I'm putting that in the arsenal, but like being able to truly just know how to be a people's person. And then I mean the creative, that's one thing you can teach it, but you kind of can't teach it. It's like, if you have that, but you also know how to kind of play the game, I could definitely understand how that could make you multifaceted.
Well, I'll tell you this, because I want that comment to be taken in the spirit in which it's made. Too bad my first job was a babysitter. You have to care for people. Yes. You have to care for them. You have to feed what matters to them. You have to help manage their emotions, because people oftentimes bring their full selves to work. And what that might look like is whatever's going on at home, whatever, that work trauma is a real thing that happens from your previous job. As people of color, we have to be able to adapt and understand that folks could have had a very different experience in the workplace before they came to you, and trust has to be built. Babysitting is probably one of the hardest jobs you can have, because you got a whole life in your hands that you got to take care of for a period of time. Yes. And you need to have that person be returned the same way the mama left them with you. Do you understand? So caring for people is really what I mean when I talk about adult babysitting.
1,000%. I love that. I feel like we're going to pivot, because this is a really great question that we got dropped in the comments here. But how much has believing what you know about yourself changed as you've grown?
Ooh, good question. Here's so I won't get fined. Okay. Let me think here. How much has believing what you know about yourself changed as you've grown? So my dad told me, God rest in peace. My dad told me once that the things you say you'll never do, you'll have done in 5 years. Right? So when I think about what I think I know about myself today, if I live right and I do the best that I can, 5 years from now, I'm going to know something different about myself. Like if I even just look back to 1 year ago today from where I am, my life is 180 degrees different from where it was a year ago. And I think about life differently than I did. A year ago, I was fresh off the heels of my father passing. I was fresh off the heels of a broken relationship. I was in the throes of things at work. You know, I was very unsettled in my life. And now I can't imagine, I wouldn't say that things are more settled, but I understand and I see more differently. I can look back and tell you why the last 12 months happened the way they did. And I think that comes with wisdom, and wisdom comes with time, and wisdom comes with living and experiencing and learning from others. So I would say that I living has informed how I've grown and changed over the years.
Yeah. I love when like the elders or even just like older people are like, you know, you may not have experienced this yet, but just keep living. I'm like, oh, don't say that to me because I don't want to. But also,
my granddaddy would say, you live long enough, life will teach you.
And it will.
When the elders look at you and go, baby, okay. Just know you done wrote yourself a check.
Yeah.
You about to be in trouble.
That is so true and so painfully true, I'll say, but 1000%. Great question.
Say, bless your heart. That means girl, you in trouble.
Yep, every time. Speaking of life, I know you talked previously about rejection and discouragement being such a big part of the entertainment industry. Sure. And I would love to know, what is something that rejection has taught you that you feel like success probably never would have or could have?
Repeat the question. What has it taught me that
what has rejection taught you that success never could?
Oh, you learn so much more from rejection than you do from success. Success feels good for about 15 minutes, right? Because then you've got the next thing to work on. Rejection has taught me resilience. Rejection hurts. Obviously, I don't think that you ever get to a point where it doesn't hurt. In the world of comedy, they tell you if you live for the laughs, you'll die by the booze. And so, thank God I ain't never got booed yet.
Yeah, wonderful.
Rejection strengthens you. It builds you up. So, you know, in Paul, the Apostle Paul talks a lot about the challenges and the tribulations that we will go through, that they will build your character. And I believe that. I believe that a lot of the rejection that I have experienced, both in, you know, professional and personal, because you better learn from them personal rejections too, child, because it translates. You start acting like that at home, you'll take it to work with you. When you can learn from these experiences and you can find yourself in a better place and you actually can do the work, you're never going to be fixed. You're never going to be perfect. But if you can at least look at it and say, is there some truth in what happened to me? You know, what part did I play? Don't sit at home worrying about what's wrong with you. That's not what I'm saying. But what part did I play in this being the outcome? I think if you can try to learn from that, if you can learn and uncover and peel back the onion layers, then rejection can teach you a whole lot.
1000%. I feel like that was something that I grabbed a hold of for a while now. It's like the best way to learn what you should do or what you can do is by learning what you cannot do, or like having to do the thing, fail, and be like, yeah, this may not be the thing for me. Or it's like, all right, I'm taking this from these pieces, and this is how I'm going to learn and grow. So I absolutely love that. I feel like rejection is like the buzzword. That is the word of the year, at least for me on this side of things. So I absolutely love that.
I think that's right. And I think if you think, I forget who said it, I'm sure some wise Chinese person, or how they say whatever, you don't live. I mean, what is it? You don't win or lose, you learn. I think it's a Chinese proverb. I don't know.
Real. Yeah, I was like, it's Chinese proverb. It's
an English proverb. You don't win or lose, you learn. And I think that's true.
Yeah, for sure. At the end of either hit of the coin, it's like you're gaining something. There is a gain in it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, speaking of losing, learning, all the things, with Save My Marriage, this was your baby. This was your first one that you kind of carried. I really love that metaphor, birthing something, carrying it to term and bringing it to life. And obviously it was a success. We could see the trailer from it. Y'all got to stay tuned for where it goes so that way y'all can tune in. I was able to attend the screening and it was absolutely hilarious. We died the entire time, died laughing. But obviously it was a success, but we want to know what things didn't go well. And with that, what were you able to learn and take from that for the next project or for the next projects?
So you won't believe this, but there wasn't anything that didn't go well. And I'm going to tell you why.
It was not anything.
No.
I know that's right.
I'm going to tell, well, because here's what happened. every time. So first of all, before I even started out on this journey, me and the good Lord had a long talk, because I'd always told him for years. I said, Lord, if you ever give me the money and the opportunity, I'll do it. And here I was, found myself with nothing but time and resources on my hand. And I said, well, Lord, if you will do this for me, I will do it with you, right? Every time something came up that might have been a hiccup, the Lord just moved it out the way. Our location, we were shooting on location in the plumbing company, when the construction company, the night before, well, maybe it was 48 hours, the Friday before, we were meant to shoot on Sunday, the Friday before the location we had pulled out. They said they had something else to do. They changed, they just changed their minds. And I was like, oh my gosh, what am I to do? And I'm calling around, I'm calling friends. And sure enough, the Lord took me back to the first location that was ever suggested. And I called up my friend and I was like, hey, do you think we could still get it? I need it tomorrow. And the man said yes on the spot. And not only did he say yes, he said we could do it and he wouldn't charge us any money. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Right? So it was better than the initial location we even had. So, and it turned out beautiful. And the Lord blessed me to be able to bless them with a little, give, what's it called, a grace offering, Yeah. And let me think, was there anything else? The cast all came together. Everybody that I wanted for the cast came together. The crew. Oh, remember, I didn't have a DP 2 weeks before I was set to shoot. What I was going to do. My mom had been a television producer for 50 years. And I'm sitting in the airport in Florida crying. And she's like, oh, call Tony. And I'm like, huh? She told me to call one of her students. And I was like, he's never going to help me. He's so big time. I don't have that kind of budget. She's like, girl, just call. And I refused. I'm sitting there in the airport not calling. And she called. And so then she's like, you better call him now. And I called him. And he was like, what do you want? And I told him what was going on. And he's like, call me tomorrow. Send me the script. Call me tomorrow. I was like, okay. So I did. And sure enough, 48 hours later, I had a whole crew.
I love that. I think it's also hilarious. I remember you told me the story, but after actually meeting Tony, now the story is even more hilarious because I'm like,
it makes sense. It makes sense. And he did it in my low budget. So I was like, what? So yeah, he's amazing. I love my DP. He's amazing.
I am absolutely also a product of what it's like when God gives you a vision, and when you are doing what he has asked you to do, is literally the personification of Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first his kingdom.
The kingdom of God. And all other things will be added unto you.
It's gonna fall in your lap. Everything you need.
Just some of them, not just the ones that work, all of them. Everything. When you say what didn't go well, honey, all has been well with my soul, because everything that I do with the Lord, and it goes well.
That's scripture. That's all the scriptures. And this is why we pray. And I think we're gonna take up an offering. We're gonna drop the tag.
There you go. And then when you have a special guest, you got to pass the plate around one more time for our guests.
Twice. Yep. So this one's for the church, guys, and this one's for them.
Come on.
Yep.
There you go. I'm gonna get a magic jacket, let people fall out.
And so, as y'all can see, Areshia is hilarious. So, comedian for sure. We didn't earn that degree for nothing. Just like the natural, you're hilarious. So it just isn't fair. This is a free show. So truly, we'll be taking up an offering after this. I would love to know another thing that we see, obviously, is your relationship with God and your faith being a big part of not just who you are, but who you are as a creator. Tell us a little bit about that. How do you weave that into your stories? How do you weave that into how you move business-wise?
That's so good. Well, first of all, when you're born in the Bible Belt, you ain't got no choice but to choose Jesus. And like my family was very deeply rooted. I grew up always active in the church here in Atlanta. Every time I've moved, the first thing is go find a church, where you can belong and, find some community. And to be clear, I've spent I'm busy, months and years out not going to church. I don't want to paint a picture like it's always perfect. But then you find you can still have faith and fellowship right at home in Bedside Baptist, under the direction of Bishop Sheets. Right. I have luckily attracted other believers. So, and even those who I've run into who are not believers, they're not believers because they don't know. They're believers because they think they know more. So, call it what you like. The Lord will teach you. I have been able to take God with me into my work, whether that's my creative work or the corporate work or volunteer work, because that's just the only way that I know how to move. I don't understand the mindset of folks who don't believe in something, because I just wonder, like, well, who do you talk to when things go wrong? You know, like,
Yeah.
who are you talking to at night before you go to sleep? Because I don't know a night where I don't say, now I lay me down to sleep. My mother told me that I'm too old to pray now I lay me down to sleep. I just didn't know that you were supposed to upgrade.
Upgrade. Yeah, you gotta keep going. You gotta be promoted to the elite employee.
I didn't know there was an elite prayer that I should be telling. I just, God bless mom and dad and me on the internet. Prayer's been the same my whole life. But yeah, I think it has been a blessing that I don't know. I've never felt like that I couldn't. I've not ever been in a situation. I mean, obviously I've been around folks who don't share my beliefs, but I also believe that people are free to worship the way that they want to. I tend to think of myself as a very tolerant person when it comes to other faiths and lifestyles and that sort of thing. So I've not ever felt that I could not authentically, I talk about Jesus all the time.
Yeah, 1,000%. I mean, and I feel like too, especially I think with this show, and then maybe a project that I was working on, but it's like, for those who are believers, we literally serve the God who created the heavens and the earth. Like the beginning of everything is that in the beginning he created. And it's like that same power, if you are a believer, then you know that same power is in you. And so therefore everything that you are creating, you just partner with heaven to bring to earth. And it's like, hold on, I'm built like that. Like I'm big time like that. Like, oh, that's,
well, the Bible tells us, the Bible tells us, like, when we think about saying, we don't have power, I can't do this or I can't do that, the Bible explicitly says that you have the same power in you that is the power that was used to raise Jesus from the dead. So surely you just don't tap into it, right? Yes. I think about my writing process. I can have an idea. The Lord will give me an inspiration idea and I'll toil around with it in my head. But when I finally sit down to write, I literally have to say, okay, let's go. And whatever tinker, I tell y'all, there's a lot going on up here. Whatever tinker up there, the Lord delivers the story to me in real time. And I can't take any credit for it. When we talk about the Holy Spirit being inside of us and it feeding and indwelling in us, that's what I experience in my creative process. So we are, like you said, we are creators and we are co-creators with God. And so who better to partner with? He's not going to steal the idea.
Because it's his, first of all. It's not even ours. He gave it to us. He's just that generous that he's like, all right, here, girl. And sure, you can get the glory, but also I'm going to get the glory. That's business partner ever. That's such a cool way to look at it. So before we wrap up here, I also want to know the birthing story, because I love that metaphor behind Cherry Blossom Pictures. Because you originally started in stand-up, but it's like, I know we got the DBA going on here, but it's like, okay, how did we go from where we were to Cherry Blossom Pictures? Tell us that.
Yes. So funny enough, the Lord has a plan before you know anything about it. Mm-hmm. In May of 2025, I decided that I would begin to offer. So I do what they call chief revenue officer work, where I work with companies to support their revenue generating functions, sales, right? So sales, marketing, operations, philanthropy, if it's a nonprofit, that sort of thing. And I decided that I wanted to first write a book. It was I'm in the middle of writing a book called The Comedian in the C-Suite.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. And
they taught us that middle finger. We got to do it. The Gen Zers or whatever that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do they? With those nails on yesterday, I could have.
Mm-hmm.
I decided that I wanted to write this book, and then I was going to use the book. I still am. I promise I'm going to get back to it. The book it's a how-to book. It's a business book around sales, but it's also a memoir of my process and my progress in life. And so about a year ago, it was May of 2025, a friend of mine said, well, let's set up your business. And he was a lawyer. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, let's set up your business. Let's get this done. Because he was very, if this is what you want to do, then let's get it done. He got on the computer and he actually did all my business license paperwork and everything for me. And I just kind of sat it to the side and didn't really touch it. Then November rolls around and I ended up separating from the organization that I was with. And I was like, well, I guess it's time to A, write the book, and B, work the business, right? So now sell myself and my services. And so my first project was oh, I think it's time to make Save My Marriage. So I had to build a production company under the umbrella of my business. And I named it after my neighborhood because this is what made me. I'm not giving out my address online.
Yeah, I was like, nobody try to go to her house. Don't do that.
And so Cherry Blossom Pictures was born to create Save My Marriage. And now we are looking at what have we been at is this August? So in 8 months, we've produced 3 projects and we got 1 more in the pipeline on the way. And just, I don't know, the Lord's doing what the Lord does.
And he gonna do it, and he gonna do it well. And I'm so excited. And I thank you for letting me be a part of all the things. I had to bring you on because you just had such a beautiful story that I felt like needed to be shared. And so on that note, I would love to know, before we wrap up, the last good thing you heard that inspired you. And then we want to know what is in the pipeline next or that you've been working on for Cherry Blossom Pictures.
The last good thing that inspired me, I probably heard last night. I won't say who, but somebody leaned over to me after we wrapped on my last production, and they said, I see God doing an amazing work in you. And that just was like, oh, I know what I think I see, but you think other people see it too? But it was such an inspiration, but it's also a responsibility, right? Because if other folks see what I think I see, or what I know I see, and they see God in it, I have a responsibility to show up right. Like I can't be embarrassing the Lord, child. He can't be out here blessing me and I'm acting a fool. So I think that's the last thing that inspired me. And what's ahead? Glad you asked. So we wrapped production yesterday on Homecoming, a short film. It is a bit of a rom-com. I want you to imagine, well, I'm not going to tell you what it's about until it's released. But we shot our first rom-com. It's a short film. We're really excited about it. It will release on October 5th for the world to see. I shouldn't give away the tag. I won't give away the log line.
I'm like, do you do it?
I know. And once it's in the can, then I will. But it's great for you. If anybody wants to see Save My Marriage, you can. We are shopping it around right now, looking for the best opportunity, the best place for it to land, because we'd love to shoot the full series. It's a feel-good, wholesome comedy. It's a family comedy. It's female-driven, about a Black and brown couple who are struggling through the first years of marriage. And I'd love you to tune in to see if we're able to save this marriage. We've got a wonderful all-star cast. Mark Vieira stars as Carlos. We've got Tony Woods. I don't know if you know either of those comedians, but they are hilarious. Check them out on Netflix. And then Sylvia Tremore Morrison. Sylvia was the first Black female impressionist. She was the first Black female writer on SNL. And then my nephew, he stars as Wolfgang on the show. So I'm really excited about them. We have a great cast. There are more folks on the show. It's worth seeing, right? It's going to take you back to early 2000s sitcoms, back when we had must-see TV. It's really good.
We love that. Areshia, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for sharing your talents and your gifts with the world. We truly appreciate it. Y'all have got to make sure that y'all follow her on everything. So as you can see, her personal handle is here below. And then Cherry Blossom Pictures is also here down there as well, so that y'all can see if we can save this marriage. And then also all the other things that she has coming up, because I'm telling y'all, as you can see here, she's hilarious. So the writing is great. I've been able to be privileged to be privy to the things, and I can attest that I was absolutely dying in my sleep. Still thinking about all the things.
Can I say one thing?
Yes.
I'm a huge Jasmine Bunch fan. People, watch out. My girl is on the rise. Let me tell you something. Let me just tell you right here.
Stop.
Jasmine, honey. I work with Jasmine. I've probably been working together for a couple of months. Well, it's more than a couple of months now. Gosh. Oh, gosh. You got to go back to Q2. When I tell you the talent, the dedication, the persistence that this woman has inside of her, the story that she has created, which we were happy to produce, by the way, is have you released your project? Have you told them?
Not yet, but it's coming.
Okay, it was a joy to produce for you. Thank you so much. You did a wonderful job, not only for your own project, but in working on mine. Honey, she was my first AD. She brought it all the way home. Do you hear me? We would not have gotten across the finish line last night without her. So Jasmine, hats off to you and all. And shout out to Tamika. Okay. Formerly Newell. Is that what it's called? Tamika James?
Yep.
Well, go on with your books, girl. I love it. I'll just plug it right quick. I have two sisters that are authors. They're really very, very good books, which I placed in my show, by the way. I don't know if you noticed it. Yeah. I love a good product placement. Tamika,
come on.
Hello. And Jazz, you write too. I love all my characters are always avid readers. I don't know why I do that. I just like, girl, you can read, you can do anything. But my sisters, I'm going to get them tied up with the book club because as I was watching the intro, I was like, oh, they need to know about this. My sister, Alexis Cole, writes romance novels. And then my other sister, Areshia McFarlin, writes faith-based self-help. And they're both really, really good.
I love that. They absolutely have to get tapped in with AANBC. Black Writers Weekend is a big deal. It really feels like big Black family reunion for creatives every year. So like August, end of July, August, got to look out for that. But we thank you so much. Thank you for the flowers. Got to give you yours. Y'all stay tuned for all the great things that Areshia is doing, the great things that she's a part of, that she's birthing over at Cherry Blossom Pictures. And we thank you for joining us on In Creative Color.
Thank you for having me, and best of success to you all. Thank you.
Bye. And thank you all so much for tuning in to another episode of In Creative Color, where this is actually the last show. So I have truly enjoyed hosting and bringing on so many amazing guests to share their stories, to share who they are, the creators behind the creativity, the artists behind the art. And I cannot wait to see what AANBC does next with our Sunday Craft Chats. This is me, your fave, Jazzonfire, signing out. And I cannot wait to see what else y'all create. Bye, y'all.
Hi guys, my name is Tamika Jameson, formerly Newhouse, and I'm the founder of AANBC. The acronym stands for African Americans on the Move Book Club. Established in 2008 for the sole purpose of amplifying Black stories and those that tell those stories. In 2025, we are prepared to even amplify our events. We also want to host more events year-round, and so we need your help. From book signings to a literary freedom walk, to festivals, to curating book drives. We are wanting to do it all. So please visit the website, aanbc.org, and learn all about us and donate to us today. Thanks.
Hey y'all, I am Jasmine Bunch, but now and forever to be known as your fave, Jazzonfire. And I am one of the newest hosts of the Sunday Craft Chats. Catch me every fourth Sunday hosting In Creative Color. Can't wait to see y'all there.